My girlfriend wants to take her ex-husband to her work Christmas party. Am I the a-hole? Hey everybody, welcome back. I've 35 male, been with my girlfriend, 44 female, for 9 months. When we met, she was open about the fact that she had fully separated from her ex and they would be starting official divorce proceedings. Okay. Those started around 1 month ago and it's basically in the early stages. Yesterday, we were talking about work Christmas parties and she told me her workplace are currently running a poll where the options were go alone, go with your partner, or say you're not going. When I asked what she was thinking of doing, she said she needed to talk to her ex-husband about it because she was going to take him if that option won, because she didn't want to go and sit alone while everyone else was there with their spouses. Why wouldn't she take OP? I don't see anything in there about taking your ex to the corporate function.
Oh God, if I don't take my ex, I'm gonna go alone.
Boyfriend, am I a joke to you? Obviously, I reacted pretty badly to this. She said she couldn't bring me because nobody there knew about me/us. You've been with her for 9 months. I mean, this might be an opportunity for them to get to know you. I'm seeing some red flags, bestie. She started her job about 3 months before we met, and everyone there was basically under the impression she was still married, as that's how things had been when she joined. She didn't like lots of people knowing her business, separating, divorce, etc., so she just went along with it. She said that bringing me would therefore be weird, and she temporarily wanted everything to still look normal by bringing him.
Go by yourself.
So she has lied. Well, not necessarily lied, like maybe like lie of omission. And now she wants to continue lying. Hate to say it, but like this is her reality. She's getting divorced. I hope. I think. It's time to face the music. I questioned why she would need to go and pretend to essentially strangers. She could easily just go on her own instead, and she told me I didn't understand how difficult it was for her. She told me I was making it all about me by asking to be prioritized. In my eyes, it was just consideration. She's basically pretending like you don't exist. That I was acting irrational and being jealous, and that she didn't have to run any of her decisions by me. She then started crying, hung up on me, and texted me to say she wanted space for a few hours. But she hasn't been in touch since, and that was 24 hours ago. I don't like where this is going. I'm seeing some red flags. I haven't reached out because I feel I haven't done anything wrong. No, you haven't. I fail to understand why you seem to be in trouble now when she's the one that has done quite a few things wrong. Dare I say she is playing the victim. We didn't have a conversation about it. She just told me. So to me, it feels a little disrespectful to me and our relationship. I know we've not been together long either, so maybe I have no right to be involved in her decisions, but I would expect to at least have a convo about that because that decision does directly affect us. You've been together for 9 months. That's not like a short amount of time. Like if you were together for maybe like under 3 months, I would kind of understand the apprehensiveness about like taking you to like functions or taking you to like a wedding, you know, just like you don't want things to move too fast, but it's been almost a year. Some people get married in like 9 months to a year. I also don't understand why she needs to go and pretend to people she doesn't really know and why she wouldn't have just been able to take that opportunity to explain. But I don't know if I'm being selfish like she said. There is a stigma that comes with getting divorced. There really is, unfortunately. But now I feel like if you're really judgmental about that, it's kind of like get with the times, you know? Get with it. It's almost 2026 here. Let's make it like a funny, like,
Oh yeah, my first husband. Oh, my fourth husband is like...
Let's lighten up a little bit. It happens. There is still a stigma, but like, it is what it is. She's getting divorced. Am I the a-hole? I've never been married, so I don't know if I've just majorly downplayed everything and been inconsiderate. Honestly, appreciate everyone's advice and opinions. No, I feel like you are perfectly justified in how you feel. She is kind of playing the victim here, and unfortunately, she needs to get over it. She needs to come to terms with the fact that she's getting divorced. It's a reality and it sucks. No one wants to admit that, like, their marriage failed, right? And yes, there's some things playing into the whole stigma of everything, but that's also like not your fault. If she was super worried about that, why is she like in another relationship now? Not the a-hole. My advice is run. She's not over her soon-to-be ex-husband. The thought did cross my mind. It could be that she still wants the benefits and the idea of being married. At the end of the day, it's like she's not married anymore. Well, I mean, technically she still is. She does have some unresolved feelings here, and until she is really okay with being divorced, I don't really think that you should wait around. All she's worried about is how she looks to others. Partners in relationships consider each other's feelings. From the sound of it, she doesn't really care about you. You are her dirty little secret, a 9-month secret. It's not like you're having an affair, or are you? The fact that her divorce didn't start until 8 months after you started a relationship is proof. From outside looking in, she was just trying to have you and her ex-husband at the same time, or holding on to her ex-husband just in case it didn't work out with you. If your gut is telling you to cut all contact and that what is going on is wrong, please listen to it. Yeah, I find it weird that she's even considering taking her ex in the first place. It's one thing to want to go alone, but like, why take the ex? Are we like entirely sure she's getting divorced? Like, have we seen proof of this? So we do have an update. Okay, so OP's gonna answer some of the repeat questions. Who filed, and did I definitely know they were divorcing? My ex-girlfriend has always made out that she had begun proceedings. Honestly, I don't know for definite that they are, but she did have a few meetings with a lawyer. When I was with her, she'd moved into her own place in March. So to me, all the signs pointed that way, but of course it may not have been the truth. Okay. She does have her own place. I would say yes. I think that is proof that they're separated. But 2, why would her not ex-husband agree to go? This is a solid question, and if I'm honest, from what she told me about him, I genuinely don't think he would have. One of the reasons she gave for their marriage collapsing was that he became more antisocial and introverted and stopped wanting to go anywhere and do anything with her. I think that's why it felt worse, because if she was telling the truth about him, she was willing to take someone who had previously, on multiple occasions, that he didn't want to go and do things. If I'm honest on reflection, I think this is an example of her refusing to face reality and clinging on to her old identity. She just thought he would always agree, because previously he probably always begrudgingly okay, that was a sentence, has, and she hasn't appreciated or logically thought about the weight of what she would be asking. If it was me, I certainly would have said no, like everyone else said they would too. Yes. But anyways, on to the update. So we split up.
Oh, there's a big surprise!
Thanks to all the perspectives here, I text her to say I hope she was okay and that the space had given me time to reflect on the situation. I explained I could see things from her perspective and what her intentions might have been, but I was hurt that she hadn't felt she could communicate that with me first. As if she had, the outcome might have been different and we could have worked something out. However, I felt her behavior in calling me selfish and the not running decisions by me, etc., was disrespectful and inconsiderate, and that was now my major problem in moving forward with the relationship. Ooh, stand on business, honey. She replied to say if I was just going to bring another source of pain and stress into her life, then I may as well go, because I was still making the whole thing about me and my feelings and not appreciating her not breaking apart at the seams while her life did. Okay, again, she's kind of playing the victim. So she'd be taking more space until I decided what I wanted. Your trauma is not your fault. Things that happen to you are not your fault. But what is your fault is how you choose to treat other people as a result of the things that happen to you. Thanks to all of you, I realized how invalidating and again, manipulative that was. It is manipulation at the end of the day. She's playing the victim so she doesn't have to take responsibility for the fact that what she did was not okay. You're dating someone for 9 months and then number 1, you find out that they don't tell anyone about you. Number 2, they haven't told everyone they're divorced. And number 3, they want to take their ex to an office Christmas party instead of you. And somehow they are the victim.
How does that work?
So I told her we'd make the space permanent and wished her the best. Her response was just okay, and asking if she could still use my Netflix password. How How embarrassing. Why does this always come up in like friendship breakups, divorces? How are you not embarrassed to ask if you can still use their Netflix password? That is so embarrassing.
Who gets the Netflix password in the divorce?
The person that pays for it. So I changed the password. Then she texts again a little while later asking why I changed it. And could I put it back because it had locked her out of a show she was watching. So I had a good laugh to myself about the irony of decision making without running it by her and didn't respond. On to better things and a definite lesson learned in the future in seeing red flags. I also wanted to thank the commenters who have lived it and shared their experiences. It did make it easier to understand what her motivations and intentions might have been for carrying on as normal. As I said in a previous comment, she had a bad experience with a previous job and was out of work for some time in between. I also knew she was nervous about this as it was beginning to ramp up. I can see why she may have obfuscated the truth so that her employers didn't think she had any personal distractions, which might have stopped her at being her sharpest. Where we live, you need 2 years to be safe from being fired, and she was only a year in. I can totally get why someone suddenly on their own with individual finances, plus lawyer fees and divorce settlement, if true, would not want to risk their income and suddenly being shut off or being back out of work for a long period. Having said that, I also agree with everyone that there is a difference between obfuscating the truth and showing up with your ex and essentially playing pretend when there was the option of going alone and just making an excuse for them. Though I guess I can also see why maybe that would feel awkward or uncomfortable being surrounded by others. At the end of the day, if she had come to me and explained, maybe we could have worked it out. However, she didn't, and everyone was right that her behavior and attitude toward me in the situation was very disrespectful and problematic in the end. Yes, everyone's like, yay, so glad you guys broke up. This is weird. I can get her not wanting to jeopardize her job because of like a divorce proceeding. I mean, it really doesn't explain why she couldn't have just gone alone. Like, I understand it's awkward, but like, not as awkward as like taking your ex that you're currently being divorced to. So are you the a-hole because your girlfriend wants to take her ex-husband to her work Christmas party? I would say no. We're gonna go with no. Not the a-hole. We got some more work drama for you coming right up. Am I overreacting? My coworker harasses me about my masculinity and DM'd my wife.
My wife?
I'm currently dealing with a work situation that I, 28 male, need advice on. Before I work, I go to the gym about every other day. I'm hardly shredded, but I've gone enough that you can see my muscles when I come into work in short sleeves. I wouldn't describe myself as a gym bro or a gym rat. I really just go for my overall health. Anyways, I work in an office with maybe 25 to 30 people that work there. We mainly do business to business sales and supply, not really relevant to the story. So I get to work one day wearing a polo, and a couple of girls and guys in the office were asking me if I had been working out recently, and I told them that I had. It wasn't flirtatious or anything like that. I think they were just giving me a friendly compliment. Plus, I'm married. But as we're discussing me working out, my coworker, Gary, 40s male, walks in. Gary is a lot. He's one of those guys who constantly talks about how much he benches, his gains, and generally just tries to project this super intense alpha male image, which is annoying, but none of my business really. Side eye. This is where the problem starts. Someone asked me what my max bench was. I told them honestly, and Gary, who was lurking nearby, scoffed loudly. He then proceeded to tell me in front of like 5 other coworkers that my number, 170, was pathetic, and that I clearly wasn't a real man or an alpha. He then went on a tirade about how men needed to be strong and dominate, etc., etc. It was super uncomfortable. I tried to just laugh it off and change the subject, but it didn't work. Since then, it's gotten worse. Yeah, he sees you as a threat now. And he obviously probably doesn't like that you're getting compliments at work, probably from women he likes. Every single day, Gary makes some kind of comment. If I'm getting coffee, he'll ask if I'm strong enough to lift the pot. If I'm walking to my desk, he'll flex and ask if I'm
Inspired yet to hit the weights like a real man.
Let's get rid of this notion that like going to the gym means that you have to be like an Olympic lifter. This is exactly why people don't go to the gym, because this judgment does exist. This notion that everybody has to be doing their reps perfectly, that everybody, needs to be working out as much as they do, that nobody's eating enough protein. There's so much like gym shaming that goes on, and it's honestly kind of annoying because at the end of the day, it's like everyone is different. People work out for different reasons. Let's not pretend that like we're better than other people. Being a gym rat is not like it's not a flex. You know, like some people just enjoy it. Some people just do it for health. They're not in it to like be Mr. Arnold Schwarzenegger. I've tried ignoring him, giving him short answers, and even politely telling him to knock it off. Nothing works. He laughs and says, I need to grow thicker skin. Ugh, this is so like textbook, like,
Ooh, he's the alpha and you're the beta.
he sees you as like a sub deer and he wants to like duke it out with you for dominance. This is where I start to lose my a little. My wife, 27 female, texted me a screenshot yesterday. It was a DM from Gary. Oh.
Right away.
Remember when I said this is about him being jealous? It was a picture of him flexing in the mirror with some ridiculous caption about being a true alpha and how real women know what's up. Honestly, as a woman, that kind of thing grosses me out. If you even say out loud that you're an alpha, you're a beta. Like, I'm sorry. It's true though. Like, why do you feel the need to like say it out loud? Like, don't just say you're an alpha, be an alpha.
Show, don't tell, Mr. Armstrong.
He'd somehow found her on social media and sent her this unsolicited picture and message. I was beyond furious. I wanted to march over to his desk and punch him, but I knew that would only make things worse. I mean, you could definitely get him fired. I'm starting to dread coming to work. It's constant. It's demeaning. It's making me feel genuinely small and uncomfortable. And now he's involving my wife. Am I overreacting? Is this just typical guy banter that I'm not getting? It might have been initially typical guy banter, but it's not now that he's involved your wife. That is him blatantly disrespecting you and trying to one-up you. I don't know a single woman that would like see something like that, like someone who's in a relationship and see something like that and like be like, oh my God, yeah. Should I suck it up and ignore him, or is this actually something worth addressing with HR? I think it's absolutely something worth addressing with HR.
I'd like an HR person to remind everyone about workplace boundaries.
This is your chance to be an alpha. This is your chance to stand your ground. You don't have to punch him, but like he's bullying you. I don't want to say you're letting him get away with it, but like it's not helping that, you know, you're just knock it off, whatever. I think you need to go to him, stare at him square in the face and say, F off. I feel like if I tell HR, it might just add fuel to the fire. But if I come down to his level and respond violently, I'll lose my job. You don't have to respond violently. It doesn't need to go from like 0 to 100 here. Even just go up to him in a public setting, like at his desk. Humiliate him a little bit.
Maybe that's what he wanted.
I'm just saying. So, update. I'm going to take this to HR tomorrow. Thank you guys for letting me know the severity of this. It is severe. It kind of reminds me of just like being bullied in school. I firmly believe that bullies need to get like not necessarily a taste of their own medicine. You do need to shut that down. I think he's a little afraid of you. I'm just saying. HR should have been involved a long time ago. Be advised he will pursue the wife angle more aggressively than ever. Oki said that is my concern and that it'll just make him want to escalate things further. That is a reasonable fear, but once you report it to HR, explain everything to them as you did here. You can continue to report any retaliation or additional incidents. He is harassing you and creating a hostile work environment. He is, and the reason why I'm saying to like actually talk to him about it in person and to like stand your ground a little more, my worry is if he gets fired and he retaliates even more and takes it outside of like the workplace. That's what I'm worried about. That's why I feel sometimes like it's better to just stare someone square in the face and tell them to stop. HR's job is to protect the company from being sued by you by intervening in your coworkers' behavior. Just keep documenting everything because if HR doesn't effectively do its job, you will have a case for a lawsuit. Obviously, the hope is that it won't come to that. Good luck. OP responded again, I think you're right. I've let this whole thing about me calling me weak get to my head. I'm just not into violence and I feel like that's what he's trying to provoke. So we do have an update. I ended up going to HR. I honestly didn't think HR would do much because Gary's a good employee in terms of performance, but surprisingly, they took my complaint very seriously and were in disbelief when I showed them the screenshot of the DM he sent to my wife. The next day, Gary was not at the office, so I wasn't sure if they'd fired him or if he was just on suspension at first, but our boss told us to let his clients know that he was out for the day if they called the office. So I assumed that meant he got suspended. He was back this morning. Usually he greets me with some kind of smart remark, but today he was really quiet and seemed to be avoiding eye contact with me. When I went to grab some coffee out of the break room a little after, he came in there and asked if we could talk. He proceeded to tell me that HR laid into him big time and they told him that if he pulled anything like that again, it would result in termination. He then proceeded to apologize to me for everything he said and said that as pathetic as it sounds, he was just upset that nobody ever compliments him on going to the gym despite how much time he spends in the gym in his free time. Oh, brother. He said it hurt that people acknowledged me when going to the gym wasn't as big of a deal for me as it was for him. He then asked for my forgiveness. I honestly felt kind of bad for him in that moment. And it was really kind of pathetic, but he did seem sorry. So I told him I accepted his apology, but if he ever messages my wife on anything again, he'll have a lot more to worry about than an HR complaint. He again apologized. I'm glad that you actually kind of had a chance to like set a very strong boundary with him, because it's not even just about you at that point. It's also about your wife. Your wife is uncomfortable. You want to defend her honor. And yes, it was, kind of about you in that he kind of wanted to like stir the pot a little bit, whatever sort of weird competitive was going on in his head. At the end of the day, that is your wife.
My wife.
And you need to like kind of put your foot down here. You can make fun of me as much as you want, but the minute that you like hurt my friend or my husband, you're dead to me. Like you're literally dead to me. It's kind of like that mama bear, like protective mentality where you'll be a pushover, but when it comes to like people you love, you like won't be. It's a good thing to do, I think. I don't know if this situation is fully resolved given it's only been half a day, but Gary has been quiet and not at all like himself. We'll see if this lasts, but his apology felt genuine. So hopefully this is the last update I'll have to give on this situation. To some degree, this is all like from a place of insecurity, right? Gary is insecure, but like I would argue that like the lack of compliments also comes from a place of maybe he's just not liked as a person either. So am I overreacting? My coworker harasses me about my masculinity and DM'd my wife. You're not overreacting, but he wants what you have.